Welcome back to Mrs. Bisson's virtual classroom. Today we will be learning how to solve two-step equation word problems. For this lesson you will need a sharpened pencil with an eraser, your calculator, your guided notes sheet in which you'll follow along with and fill in the spaces as prompted in the video, and of course your headphones. If you are missing any of these items, please pause the video, retrieve the items, and resume the video when you get back. Let's go ahead and review. How do you solve a two-step equation? Well, of course, the first step involves finding the inverse operation for the first operation. Here we see that the first operation is subtraction. We're subtracting 7. The inverse operation of subtraction is addition. So we will add 7 to both sides. We also see here that we have our variable of x and we have a coefficient of 6. Therefore, we know that 6 is being multiplied by x, so we're going to put multiplied by 6 there. We will also use the inverse operation, which is division of multiplication, and we know that we will divide both sides by 6. So go ahead and see if you can solve this and come back and check your answer. Okay, so I should have added 7 to both sides. Therefore, I will get 6x is equal to 90. We know that we're dividing both sides by 6 as well. And then ultimately you get x equals 15. Finally, what you'll do is you will check your answer. This is a very important step, of course, and helps us to identify if we've made any errors in our calculations, and it helps us to fix anything that we've done incorrectly. So 6 multiplied by 15 minus 7 is equal to 83, and I have limited space here, but I know you have a larger space to work with. So you should have gotten 83 is equal to 83. Put a big check mark there indicating that you are correct. If you did have some calculator errors or you don't know where you went wrong, please raise your hand and I will come and help you. Okay, so let's review some of the keywords that we see in math problems. And this is not just specific to two-step word problems. If you remember, we did this when we worked with one-step word problems, and we've done this with all of the other types of mathematical word problems that we've worked with. So in addition, we have some keywords here: plus, sum, total, added to, in, all, and combined. Subtraction, we have minus, difference, the change, less than, decrease, taken from. Multiplication, we have product, times, of, twice, triple. And division we have goes into, per, half of, evenly, or divided by. These are not all of the keywords that you can see in math, but they are some of the most commonly used. So how do you solve a two-step word problem? Well, there's the familiar cat again, which means that this is something very familiar that we worked with. In fact, we've used the cube strategy in all of our mathematical word problems that we've worked with. So that involves first circling the key numbers, underlining the question, boxing in any of the action words, evaluating the steps that you're taking, and of course solving, and not to forget the last step and very important step, checking your answers. So let's move on to the first word problem that we're working with. We know that Mike bought a soft drink for $4 and 9 candy bars. He spent a total of $31. How much did each candy bar cost? So we're going to circle our numbers first. So we know 4, 9, and 31 are the numbers that we're working with here. Okay, let's underline our question. How much did each candy bar cost? That will be our variable. For this example, I'm using the variable of x. You can use a c if you'd like to in order to represent the cost of the candy bar. Like I said previously, it does not matter what the letter is, but you just need to make sure that you're using consistency throughout your problem. Okay, so we also know here, okay, let's look at our keywords. Total, that's important. That's a very important mathematical word. And we have and here, which is a innocent looking word on its own, but here in math we know that that's indicative of possibly an addition problem. So let's look at that a little bit later. But okay, so Mike bought a soft drink for $4, okay? He spent a total of $31. How much did each candy bar cost? Well, let's go ahead and set this up. We already know total, so that tells us that we have an equal here, and that to the right of the equal sign, we know that that will be a 31. So that helps us out immediately. And we know that we have 9 candy bars, but we don't know how much each candy bar was selling for. So we have here, we know that that's 9x, because 9 candy bars and the costs that we don't know how much. And we have this and here, so we know that we're adding. Now, and does not always mean add in a word problem, but here we can tell $4 and 9 candy bars, that that's addition. So the only thing we have left here is our 4. And there you have a 2-step word problem. And we've been practicing these for a while, so you should know what to do. Go ahead and pause the video and solve it on your own. Come back and see if you are correct. Okay, so I am solving here. I know that I have addition and multiplication, so add 4. The inverse operation of addition is subtraction. Multiply by 9. I know that the inverse operation of multiplication is division. You should have taken 4 away from both sides. Okay. And I have 9x is equal to 27. I'm going to divide both sides by 9. And I get x is equal to 3. When I do my check, of course I'm writing down the exact problem because I don't want to change anything there. 9 times 3 plus 4 is equal to 31. We know because of the order of operations that multiplication operation is done first, and then you should get 31 is equal to 31. If you did not get that answer, please raise your hand and I will come and assist you. Okay, so Benny sold half of his comic books and then bought 6 more. He now has 13. How many did he begin with? Okay, so let's go ahead and circle our numbers. Okay, so we know we have 6 and 13 there. How many did he begin with? Well, how many of what? He is using comic books here. How many comic books did he begin with? X is going to be my variable here, just because I want it to be. You can make it C for comic books if you'd like to. And finally, let's go ahead and box in our keywords here. So half, that's a very important mathematical word there, and that kind of is indicative of possibly some division there. And then he bought 6 more. More is important as well. That's kind of indicative of addition. He now has 13. Okay, it didn't say total, but I know from reading this that Benny has a final amount or a total of 13. So we've got a lot of really great information in here that we can use. So how many did he begin with? Well, we don't know. So that's our variable. And we know that the amount that he began with, he sold half of. So in order to get half of something, you divide by 2. And we know that we are 7th grade mathematicians, so we are using a fraction bar and we are dividing by 2. But then Benny did something interesting. He bought 6 more, and we know that more was on our list for addition. So adding 6, and we know that our total was 13. So you have your equation here, and it wasn't that difficult to set up. So I'm going to go ahead and use my strategies that I've used before, and I'm going to solve this. I know that I've got addition here, so adding by 6, inverse of addition is subtraction, and here we have this fraction bar. Now we know that because the variable is on top of the fraction bar here, that this is a division problem, so x is being divided by 2. And the inverse operation of division is, of course, multiplication. So let's go ahead and solve this. I think that you can go ahead and pause the video and solve this now and come back and check your answer. Okay, so I should have taken 6 from both sides. Okay, and so I get x over 2, and that cancels that out. oops, this was supposed to be a 6. I'm going to erase that. I got ahead of myself because I already knew what the answer was. Okay. Okay, so I get x over 2 is equal to 7. I'm going to multiply both sides by 2, and I get x equals 14. So let's go ahead and check our answer, of course. So we had x over 2 plus 6 is equal to 13. 14 divided by 2 plus 6 is equal to 13. 14 divided by 2 is 7 plus 6 equals 13. So I know that 13 is in fact equal to 13, and I have successfully checked my answer and know that I did everything correctly. It is now time to go ahead and start practicing. Awesome job, guys.